All right, let's talk about a problem that I swear every single one of us runs into. We're talking about those instruments that cover a huge range of frequencies. You know, those big, beautiful sounds that can just completely take over a mix if you're not careful. So let's dive in.
You know the drill, right? You've got this amazing piano part, or maybe some epic strings, or a super lush synth pad. On their own, they sound fantastic. But the second you drop them into a busy track with drums, bass, vocals, the whole nine yards, one of two things happens. They either turn into a muddy mess, or you have to EQ the life out of them until they're just thin and weak. So how do you find that perfect sweet spot?
Well, that's exactly where this thing comes in. This is wide-range focus, and it was literally built from the ground up to help those wide-range instruments sit perfectly in your mix, keeping all their body and character while carving out just the right amount of space. Okay, so how does it actually work? Let's break it down. It really all starts with this big knob right here in the middle. This is the heart of the whole plugin. This is your main dial, range focus. Its whole job is to intelligently figure out which parts of the sound are going to clash with everything else in the mix. You know, that frequency masking thing where sounds are just stepping all over each other. The more you turn this up, the more it brings your instrument forward, giving it its own space to live and breathe.
Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like an incredibly smart, dynamic EQ. So instead of you having to sweep around, hunting for all those problem frequencies, range focus just analyzes the audio and makes all those complex cuts for you. It clears out the clutter so the good stuff, the important parts of the sound, can really shine through. Okay, so once you've dialed in that main focus, you've got to manage the body of the sound. And that brings us to our first big balancing act, the weight versus clear control.
And here's where the real magic happens, because it's all about how these two work against each other. If you push it towards weight, you're adding in that foundational low-end warmth, which is perfect for stopping your sound from getting thin. But if you push it the other way, towards clear, it does the exact opposite. It targets that nasty, muddy, boxy area in the low mids, creating instant separation. It's this constant push and pull to find that perfect balance. All right, so we've handled the body of the sound, but what about the top end? Just like with the lows, the high frequencies need their own little balancing act to make sure they're exciting, but not, harsh. So up here, it's all about controlling those highs. Turn the dial towards presence, and you start adding that beautiful air and sparkle, that bite that helps a sound really cut through and feel alive. But if you go too far and it gets harsh, or you get that brittle digital fizz, you just dial it back towards smooth. That tames everything and gives you a really polished, refined top end. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's see how this actually works in the real world, right? We're going to look at 3 totally different presets to see how these controls work together to get completely different results. First up, let's look at a tight pop setting. The main range focus is cranked way up to 70%. That's super aggressive, really carving out a hole for the vocals and the drums to punch through. And to keep it from getting muddy, the weight/clear knob is pushed over to clear 8, which is actively scooping out those boxy frequencies to keep that piano tight and punchy. Now, for a complete 180, let's look at these ballad strings. The goal here isn't punch, it's all about emotion. The range focus is way lower, preserving more of the natural sound. The key moves here are weight +8, which gives the strings this rich, full-bodied foundation, and then a massive boost of presence +16 to get that soaring cinematic air that just makes them feel emotional and, well, expensive. Okay, one last example. For a huge, wide, cinematic pad, it's all about creating this massive soundscape. The focus is even lower here, down at 46%, just to keep the pad feeling broad and all-encompassing. But look at that weight knob. It's pushed all the way to +16. This creates this gigantic, warm foundation that just fills everything up, but without turning into mud. It's awesome. And hey, while you're twisting all these knobs, did you even notice this little visual guide down here? That orange masking reduction meter isn't just for looks. It's giving you real-time feedback on how much of that frequency clutter the plugin is actively taking out of your signal. The more that bar lights up, the harder the plugin is working to give you clarity. It's pretty handy. So to bring this all home, it really boils down to a super simple 4-step process. First, just pick a category to get a good starting point. Second, dial in that main range focus knob to get the instrument sitting right. Third, use the weight and clear control to shape the body so it's got substance but no mud. And finally, you just polish the top end with presence and smooth. It's a quick and repeatable way to get great results every single time. And that's pretty much it. So, as you head back to your own sessions, I just want to leave you with this one question. Think about the track you're working on right now. What's that one piano, or that one string part, or that synth pad that's been giving you a headache? That's the perfect sound to start applying these ideas to.
Thanks for hanging out.